Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the world famous Rich Wilson Show. So, it's Friday, and so what are we going to do today for Friday is we're going to do some recap of the news this week, and then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our top stories of the night. Taking a look at this, I normally try to keep my ringer off, and I fail almost every single time. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so let's talk about some of the news that went on this week. Ukraine hasn't changed from anything that I've talked about all week long. I'm trying to get myself together to make sure that I try to be as professional as humanly possible tonight because I'm in a bad mood, so to speak. So just bear with me here. So Ukraine hasn't changed at all. There's still a whole bunch of Russian troops there. Let's see. What else did we talk about? This week? People still doing dumb shit on TikTok. A war on social media against cinema and AOC has been rather interesting. I'm not going to go into details about that because y'all should really look that up. It gets really good. We've had a whole lot of I'll get to that in a minute. Like I said, I'm upset. So just let me work on this. If you're in the Northeast, folks, it's going to get shitty. There's no way about it. It's going to get about as bad as having to listen to a Joe Biden speech, okay? It is. It's just crap's going to fall down. Everything's going to slow down and it's not going to make much sense. Like I said, it's like a Joe Biden speech, okay? But you guys are in for some pretty brutal weather. You're in for a blizzard. It's been the first time in about 30 years that you've had a 700-mile stretch of an actual blizzard warning. 700 to 800 miles. So for those of you that are out there, my friends on the East Coast, don't go out if you don't have to. Now, to my family right now, be safe on your trip up to Christiana. Please be safe. I know it's already snowing there, so be careful as much as you can. Okay. Get everybody get up to the place safely, okay? And to my dad, get better, Dad. So now, let's move. Let's get on to what I want to discuss tonight. I don't have any cool little pictures and banners and stuff to put up tonight. I'm none too terribly pleased about what has gone on this week. As we've had a bunch of shootings and happen this week, a lot of them, and this weekend is lining up to be some of the worst that we've had in a while. And one of the problems I have with this is I'm noticing still the communities saying, well, our politicians need to help. Our politicians need to fix this. No, they fucking don't. Okay? Because you've let them be in the position they are, and you've looked to them for so long to fix it. They're not fixing it. They're not going to fix it. They're going to tell you when they're running for office that they're going to fix it, but obviously they haven't. I had to watch something today that brought back some memories. And that was watching a police officer in New York be laid to rest today, who him and his partner were needlessly gunned down. And of course, having to listen to read some of the messaging that's coming out of people about, they're not heroes. and that they're not this and they're not that and they deserve to die and things like that. And most of y'all that say that dumb shit are the first ones to scream for the police the moment somebody's doing something wrong to you. You're the first one to scream for the police when somebody disrespects you in a parking lot somewhere, or when someone's rude to you. You want to call the cops on them. And a bunch of you out there are some hypocritical bastards. You really are. There's no way around it. And what's worse is the amount of black people that have been killed in this past month alone from just senseless shootings. And where the fuck is BLM at? Where is BLM sitting there telling the black community to stop killing itself? They're nowhere to be found. Oh, wait a minute. Do those lives not matter now? Or does it only matter when it's a situation that you can capitalize on? I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because you're nowhere to be found. The only thing we got in response about the 2 black officers that were killed in New York was, they're not heroes. That's what we got out of you. You talk about how you want to protect the black community and keep the black community strong, and that it doesn't just mean go out and attack white people. That means call your community into question and stand up and tell your community to stop killing itself. See, it works both ways. If you're going to sit there and say that your lives matter, that works across the board. You can't claim yourself to be a legitimate organization if it only matters when you can make money off of it. And if you sit there and go, well, they don't make money off of it. Oh, horse shit. Yes, they do. They make a lot of money off of it. But when it's a situation where they can't capitalize and make money on it, you don't see them anywhere. Nowhere to be found. And that's sad. It really is. It's very, very sad. I cannot possibly understand why that is. You're going to claim these things, but then you're not going to actually stand up for it and actually do it all the way. It's good when it's a photo op. It's good when you can get 15 minutes on Joy Reid's show with whatever hideous hairdo and outfit she's wearing that day. But when it doesn't make you money and it's not a good photo op for you, you're nowhere to be found. And that's because they lie to you. See, the thing is on the premise of the statement by itself, without the organization behind it, the term Black Lives Matter is legitimate. And it's a powerful saying. But when you have an organization that is corrupt and calls for violence and protests only when it suits them, is that an organization that really supports that movement? Is that an organization that supports these things? No, it's not. It's there to make money. Look at some of the leaders and now some of the houses they buy. They created this organization knowing they were going to make a lot of money off of it. And you have a death toll that is steadily increasing, and it's not the cops' fault that this death toll is rising at the rate it is. It's not police officers shooting unarmed black people in the streets in 2022 that's causing this rise. It's literally black people shooting other black people. So far in 2022, you know what the leading cause of death for a black male is in 2022? It's not coronavirus. It's not cancer. It's not drug overdoses. It's other black men. White people, same problem. It's not in 2022 so far. It's not been coronavirus. It's not been diseases. It's been people shooting. It's been white people shooting white people. This is ridiculous what is happening this year. We're not even a full month into it. We're almost a full month into 2022, and we're already on tap to surpass everything that we've done in the past 3 years combined at the rate of increase. And if it speeds up any longer or any more, we'll surpass those numbers when you take a combined decade. 2022 is on tap to actually be greater than in death from murder rates higher than the last whole decade. So going back to 2011 to 2021, you take those total numbers, and 2022, statistically speaking, is now already on tap to beat the combined total before the end of the year. It's like every year, like a bunch of people that are criminals on all sides decide, oh, wait a minute, we didn't beat, we only scored this. Here, hold my beer. I'm going to score higher. This isn't a competition that our society can win. And the worst part about it is, a large majority of what's causing this is not inequality. Because if it was racism and inequality, then the numbers would be white people shooting black people shooting white people. It's not. Okay? So it's not it. And the media tries to play that off. It's all about race. It's all racism. No, it's not. It is not racism that's causing this. It's people shooting themselves, their own race. And the media is sitting here playing into this. The media is telling you that it's this, that it's that. You need to hate these people. Well, first of all, the media needs to shut the fuck up and sit the hell down. It needs to stop playing stories of telling people to hate people. That's a problem. We need to stop hating each other. The media plays into this, and they feed you right along. And they tell you this is what you're supposed to think. And they tell you this is what you're supposed to do. You need to tell them to stop. Because that's what they do. All of them. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, CBS, you name them. You're supposed to hate this. This is what I do when the media tells me something that I'm supposed to think or feel. I give it the finger. Because you do not dictate what I think or what I feel. I'll make that decision for myself. But a lot of you, and I've seen it on Facebook, I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it on all of them. As soon as the catchphrase of the day comes out of the media, I could sit there and watch, and almost like clockwork on all of your pages, you will sit there and march lockstep with what they tell you. All week long, 5 days a week, from 5 a.m. in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening when I go on. So 13 hours a day of doing research. I can watch it, and I can almost set my watch to it. I will turn the news on, and at 6 a.m. when the main morning news starts, I'll sit there and listen for the key phrases, the key statements, the key little articles. And then I could sit over here on my phone with the social media apps going, and I start watching you guys start going lockstep with what they say. What's the new phrase to hate today? What's the new thing to do today? It's sad. Because you guys sit there and you have all this hatred, and like I've coined the phrase, it's fake hate. And do you know why it's fake? It's because it's hatred you're told to have. It is hatred you're instructed to have. And it's like I said yesterday on my show, when it comes to this, here's the problem. When it's all said and done and the things are accomplished, the people that have been leading you around are not going to give you anything for it. There is no bonus or reward for getting to the finish line with the influencers that are helping you. You will get left behind. And if you think I'm wrong, just do the research. Just look it up for yourself and you'll see it. In these influencers, these wealthy people that are telling you how to be, the media people that are telling you how to be, are distancing themselves from you already. The development of a civil war pays them dividends. They're investing in you doing what they want you to do so they can get what they want. And it has nothing to do with you in the end. The only thing that's going to be left in the end is a shamble of what this country is, while we are literally at war with ourselves. That's all it is. And you seriously, you guys need to wake up. You guys keep talking about, I need to be woke. You never woke up. You never did. You just went to a different dream. You haven't woken up. This whole woke ideology is bullshit. It's a made-up term. It doesn't mean anything. Here's what life should mean. Be, and I'll quote a movie, be excellent to each other. It is not that damn difficult to be nice to each other. It is not that hard to be nice to each other. It is not, yes, do we all agree on shit? No, that's what makes it amazing. Zion Brent, BLM is only interested in where they can spread fake hate. Absolutely. Okay? It's not that difficult. We are human beings. But we have gotten to a society where we have to live and die based on what these people say. That is a sad, sad reality. Because you're not yourself anymore. You're not this thinker. Everybody goes, I think for myself. Horse shit. No, you don't. Because if you immediately, oh, I should hate that. I hate this. You're not thinking for yourself. This one expert told me, do you know how many experts I looked up on crime analysis today? Yeah, I could have gone to the first one I saw. I stopped counting after the 50th different research site that I went to look up these things. And like I said, it's real simple. To break this all down, we are currently in 2022 on the scale of increase that we will surpass the combined total of 2011 to 2021. After going through all these websites, these are the numbers together. More people have been shot and killed. More people have been stabbed to death. More people have been robbed. More people have been, more people have come across the border. More people this, more people this. It's all one illegal act after another are all increasing exponentially. And they're increasing at a faster rate than the last decade. And the worst part about it is some of y'all running around acting like it's justified. Oh, it's perfectly fine. You look at the people that were looting the stores in California. Oh, that's perfectly fine. Because here's another problem with this. DAs are not prosecuting people like they're supposed to. So now people are thinking it's okay to break the law. The guy that killed the 2 New York officers, to give you how much of a sick idea this is, the guy that literally, after he shot the officers, and the body cam footage shows it, steps over the top of them and fires more rounds into their bodies, right now is walking free. Because he was arrested and he was given bail. And this guy has an exuberant criminal record. And they gave him bail. To give you an idea of a court system that actually operates, the Hispanic gentleman who murdered the Houston cop, when they got him, they denied his bail. And he has a long rap sheet. But yeah, we got a DEA. It is so bad in the state of New York and in the city that the widow of the officer who was gunned down that they laid to rest today, okay, this person, his widow sat there and had to rip into the DA's ass while the DA was present at the funeral, because officers themselves can't talk about this. They'll lose their job. So she did, and got a standing ovation for her statements against the DA. Because of idiotic policies like that got her husband killed. Idiotic groups out there telling you that you should hate the cops. Here's another thing, and I just, you can look it up all day long if you want. More, the problem is less people of color are killed by law enforcement every single year. It's a number. You can't argue the number. It's right there. But you're told that's not true, and then you're told how to equate it. So it makes more sense, but you can't argue numbers. Numbers do not lie. It is a simple mathematical equation. I mean, I know you were told some dumb crap about a different way to do math, but basic math still works the same. And that's what happened. People are dying in this country, and it's not COVID. It's not cancer. Our teenagers are getting killed by drugs at a much more alarming rate than ever. And our adults on all sides of the fence are just killing each other. Do you remember a time when the news covered somebody getting shot and killed and it was a shock? I do. I remember. I remember when if a city had 100 homicides, that was a problem, and everybody had to work together to try to figure out a way to stop it. Now, if Detroit makes it a week without having 20 of them, they consider it a win. If they make it a weekend without having 20 people shot, it's a win. And here's the thing. Don't give me the bullshit about, well, if we outlaw guns, then it'll go away. Horse shit, because the people doing this aren't responsible legal gun owners. They have these guns illegally, and they're killing people with them. So outlawing guns is not going to solve your problem. So don't even try to say that. And the worst part is, like I said, you're marching lockstep with what they want, and you're going to let them march you into a civil war. It's literally... If you watch the speech that Justice Breyer gave at the White House about his retirement, that he was forced to retire, by the way, the guy didn't even have a chance to retire on his own. He was just kind of told he was retiring. He hadn't even made an announcement he was retiring, and everybody and the White House started saying he was retiring. He hadn't even made that decision yet. But you look at his speech, and he even talks about how we're already going into one. We got to stop this, and the only way that we will stop this from happening is to stop listening to the bullshit artists and start living like human beings and start being human beings. We are supposed to have a compassion for each other regardless. If you're out there and you don't think that all people should have the same rights, you don't think that transgender people should have the same rights or gay people should have the same rights or whichever, then you're also part of the problem. We are human beings. We should all be treated equally. We should all treat each other equally, regardless of it. We should not force our beliefs and values onto other people. We should not make them have to believe in what we believe in. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in, and I can believe in whatever I want to believe in, and we could still live happily ever fucking after. It's not that difficult. It isn't. And everybody thinks it is, and that's the problem, is because you're told it's that difficult. And because of that, we are in the situation we are in. And we need to get out of that situation. And the only way we can get out of that situation is not some goddamn politician. It's not some leader of some organization that wants to protest everywhere. It starts right here. And right here. And that's how we get out of this situation. And that's how we stop killing our cops. That's how we stop killing our brothers and sisters. That's how we stop doing these things. Because we need to have a mental shift. And we need to realize ourselves, it's time to be excellent to each other. Stop the fake hate bullshit. Just knock it off. There's no reason for it. We can go about our life and we can do these things, and we don't have to sit there and rely on some talking head to tell us what we're supposed to believe in. We don't have to. All right. Well, evidently my Facebook chat is not popping up on my multi-stream chat, and I do apologize for anybody out there that's been trying to talk to me on the Facebook chat. So I do apologize for that. Thomas Palfrey over here saying woke is a follow word. He's right. I'm gonna flip this around. Oh no, I had light go out. That's not good. I gotta get that back on. I've lost the light. That's because it looks like my light system has shut itself down. Oh, I got it back now. There we go. I don't know why I did that. And that's funny. I put it over here and now the light shut off. I wonder if it's because it can only run. That shouldn't be a freaking problem. I don't know why that is suddenly now an issue. Yep, evidently it's a problem. But like I was saying, Tom, you're right. Woke is a follower. By the way, just in case you know, BLM, its $60 million bankroll it's got for doing things is now missing. Why is a nonprofit organization that's supposed to be fighting for somebody's lives and equality pumping that kind of dough. Because they make lots of money off of you. All of these organizations that do these things like this are making money off of you. And the worst part is y'all donate like crazy. And you think that, oh, we're doing something right. No, you're not. No, what you're doing is you're following somebody because they're telling you. And you think that's right. You've been lied to. It's like Tom McDonald said, Black lives only matter once every 4 years when it's an election cycle. Notice BLM is ramped down significantly over the last year. Does it have to do with the fact that we haven't had an election? So the Democrats aren't pumping money into that organization? Because if you look at their donation page, go down. It's a who's who of the Democrats. But now they're not pumping money in. It's odd, isn't it? It's because they don't care about you. That's why in the beginning, I just knew as soon as that organization popped up, I'm like, it's awfully damn convenient. And then when I started seeing how much money they were pulling in, I'm like, wonder where this is going. Because I was actually legitimately hoping they'll put it back into the community. No, they didn't put it back into their community. In fact, some of the top leaders of that organization went and bought rich houses in gated communities. They didn't put it back into those communities. The amount of money that organization was able to take in, imagine the changes they could have made. Zion Bryn, respect each other. Seems like you are not allowed to respect someone who doesn't agree. Only be outraged. Fake hate and rage leads to violence and hate. Yes. We're supposed to have respect for each other, and somewhere that went away. Somewhere it got to the how can I be offended today movement. I don't understand how that happened. I don't understand where that did. You know, there. For some reason, that chat room still wasn't popping up, so now I got it over here. Hopefully that solves that issue. I just, for the life of me, I cannot, I don't understand how you people can just buy this stuff lockstep. And I knew it from the beginning with all this outrage. And I was like, this has to come from somewhere. And the more and more I researched it, I started finding out where this stuff was coming from. And it leads back to, here's the funny thing, folks. You know how everybody out there keeps telling you that the white man is the problem? Do you know how you say that? Where do you think this shit comes from? Billionaire white men. I love how you guys sit there and say that rich white men are the problem. It's there's rich white men are the ones telling you to do these things. Why? Because they're bankrolling off of it. Does that not even dawn on you? Think about this. You're told to hate capitalism. But in order for you to know what they're doing, you have to support capitalism because you're supporting them. You have been lied to all along. It is not your idea to have this hatred. It is not some poor, marginalized individual that came up with these ideas, and that's what you guys are following. Billionaire white men are making money off of you in your movement because they're the ones that are pushing you in this movement. And you may think to yourself, oh, that's not true. I came up with this and I researched this on my own. Who do you think provided you the websites that specifically and a specific set of wording directs you in a certain way? That's the other sad reality, what you don't realize is going on. You totally miss the directional speech that they are using. They are literally pointing you in that direction. And you've become so blind that you don't notice it. And here's an example, and I could tell you where you would miss something. It's an old test, and what they would do is they would put 50 people in a gym, and they would all be bouncing basketballs, and they would tell you to look at all the people bouncing the basketball. And what they want you to do is they want you to try and count how many times they're bouncing the balls or how many people are bouncing the basketball. And you're incessantly trying to pay attention to the details, and then a person walks by in a suit. Person walks right down the back line in a suit. Okay? And then they turn around, and after it's over, when it's all done, they blow the whistle and everybody stops. Instead of asking you how many times did they bounce the ball or how many people were dribbling the basketball, they ask you what was in the hand of the guy wearing the suit. And your response back is, there wasn't a guy wearing a suit. And the guy pops back out and waves at you. He was there the whole time. And that's what they do. They get you hyper-focused on an item, and they want you to pay attention. And the whole time, they are slipping information into you. And what you don't realize is you're following right along with it. And you guys have become so blind to what's in front of you that they're literally getting away with all this kind of stuff. And you're just following right along. The worst part about it is when the Let's Go Brandon chant came out, which I thought that was kind of hilarious. Came out. Y'all turned around and started putting up memes of sheep. Look at all the sheep chanting, "Let's go, Brandon." The sad reality is you're really the sheep because billionaire white people are hurting you. They're the ones directing you. And you're like, oh, that's not true. And a lot of you are going to push back on me. Oh, that's not it. Okay, here's another idea. Here's another thing to prove it. You have now a bunch of scientists, not just one, a bunch of scientists coming out and talking about mass formation, psychosis, that these things are not working and stuff. And every time one of them comes out, your immediate move is to discredit them. You said in the beginning of this pandemic, believe the science, the science. And if you don't believe the science, you're a danger and you're a white supremacist and you're a terrorist. And then when scientists come out and say, well, this thing hasn't been right. They've messed it up. You must believe in our science. Notice how it changes? You're still only saying the same thing, but now you've added another word to it, and that word got slipped into you. I don't know if I read into that or not. So Zion Brand said because they have conflated respect with giving into their views, don't agree. First it was disrespect, then harm, so must be angry, then cancel, now rage and verbal abuse and social segregation. And see, that's the next thing I was going to get to. What you guys don't realize is on top of it, where have they directed you? They have directed you to bring back segregation. You literally are supporting segregation. I really didn't believe that we would be a society that would do that. I thought we had left that behind. Well, Joe Biden was the last holdout on that one, but nobody held him accountable for that. Him and his buddy Robert KKK Byrd. Okay, but you're pushing back into segregation, and you're trying to push this, and you're trying to separate. They're literally talking you into segregating the population again, something we left behind. But now because you're told this, that's what you need to do. And now you're supporting that. That's sad. And stop and think about that. You, literally fighting the good fight to end inequality and stop racism, are fighting for segregation now. Who do you think came up with that? billionaire white men are telling you this. And it's not all of them. It's not. It's certain ones. Now, of course, if I name one of them, Don Cressender said, segregation equals division, division equals fall. Abraham Lincoln, a nation united will stand, a nation separated will fall. I'm paraphrasing. Tom had it right. They have manipulated us into fighting each other when we should be fighting them. It's nuts. It's absolutely crazy. You guys, they're leading you down this path. And the worst part is it's the billionaire white Democrat or the progressives that are leading you down that path. You sit there and talk about how all rich white guys should be locked up or everything taken away from them, but that's who's leading you around. That's who's got you by the leash. Yes, they have a collar around your neck and they have a leash attached to it. I'm not kidding. After all the research I did today, that's literally the only conclusion that can come up. They have a collar around your neck and they're pulling you with a leash. They tell you when to sit. They tell you when to get up. They tell you when you can go outside to poop. They put the bowl on the floor for you to eat. They're literally treating you like dogs. And it's because you're buying into it. Lock, step. And they know they could get away with it. Because you're not fighting them. You're fighting your own people. And that's what they want. That is the ultimate goal. For you to get so out of hand that we break into a civil war. And why? So then they can move in and lock it all down and have ultimate control. If you don't even have to take 13 hours a day like I have. Just take an hour a day to look up some of this stuff and you'll start to see it too. Oh, but wait, you really can't do that, can you? Because the problem is if you do that, then nobody's telling you what to think, which means you have to think for yourself, which is what you've been telling everybody you've been doing all along. Folks, wake up. You say you're woke, you're not. Now you need to wake up. Before it is too late. Because we're getting there. You need to wake up before it's too late. You're being led around on the leash. Period. Like I said, stop with the fake hate. It's digital. That cell phone in your hand. That TikTok, Twitter, Facebook edition in your hand. You know, the sad reality is about that statement is social media can work for positive. And the intention behind Facebook originally was so people could get together and they could communicate with each other and make it easier. But people that are manipulators, that are abusers, figured out how to take these social media platforms and abuse the ever-living hell out of you. That's what they've done. So you need to find a way to take that tool back and use it against them. Because then they'll start shutting you down. Have you not noticed as soon as somebody disagrees with the whole group, with your group, you guys are told to cancel them? They use specific words to get you to cancel people. Everybody's like, everybody should have freedom of speech. Listen to how many of y'all saying that Joe Rogan should be thrown off of Spotify and say he should be locked up. I mean, hell, even Howard Stern, who's gone off the kooky end, has said that Joe Rogan doesn't need to be shut down. And hell, he's gone off the whack job. He's shacked up in the wacko basket. We want equal rights for everybody, but not you. But not you. But you, you're fine. But not you. But you over there, you're okay. But not you. What gives you the right to decide who gets the freedom of speech and who doesn't? Because I seem to remember you guys fighting against people who took away freedom of speech from who selected who lost their freedom of speech. And you guys were fighting against these things. But now you get to decide? Like, hypocrite much? And if they disagree and you can't cancel them like Rogan, then they call to ban them from social media. Yeah? So you're telling me that when you were fighting for equality and everybody should get freedom of speech and everybody should get this, that now that's changed and only certain people get it? Is that what you're saying? Hi, pot. I'm the kettle and you're black. Or, hi, kettle. I'm the pot and you're black. It's hypocrisy at its finest. If you guys would stop, if you guys would shut up with the fake hate for 5 seconds and realize the shit that's spewing out of your mouth, you'd realize you are a hypocrite. You would realize this. You are contradicting yourself every time the wind changes. And you're not even believable anymore. That's the sad reality, and that's why people are standing up to you. Wait, people who can't follow science or facts or objective truth get simply declare who is oppressed. That's the problem is they want, if you disagree with them, even though you show facts on why they're wrong, it's believe their facts. Not the facts. It's believe our science, not the science. That's what it is. People need to stop being led around by leashes. Wokeism is fake. This hatred is fake. And you're being told by the same people that you think you're fighting against on how to do it. These billionaires that are white, that are over there, the progressive white billionaires who make you seem like they're trying to do something to help society because it makes them feel better, which is a load of shit. They make a whole lot of money off of you. The same people you claim to hate are leading you around by the leash, and they're making tons of money off of you doing it. These are the people that are doing it. Okay? It's like it's like when he said in the song, you complain about capitalism while you tweet from an iPhone and sip on a Starbucks. And people actually tried to defend that. Starbucks, the left's hangout place, is one of the biggest companies to utilize and take advantage of capitalism. Do you not understand you're being led around, that what you actually think you believe in is what you were told to believe in? You don't have a belief for yourself. Smart people don't join some random ass cause where everybody's told what to believe by just one or two leaders. They do the research, they look it up, and they make an informed decision. And you'll find out that the people who do that are not in your group. Because we don't want to come down to that level of being led around like you do. You need to wake up. You're not woke. Woke is fake. You're not. You are asleep at the wheel. But you can wake up. And you can stop this And we can prevent ourselves from being in a civil war. But that depends on you. White corporate and government elites have told us the future they want. The average man will own nothing and be happy who owns it. They do. Zion Brent's, of course, talking about the Great Reset. Okay. But they want a civil war. You could tell by the way the media has been covering the news. You could tell by the way certain politicians have been talking. They want us to continue to fight each other. They want us to continue to hate each other, because when absolute chaos breaks out, then they get to shut it all down by taking 100% complete control, and you'll lose all of your rights. Every time we have given the government in the past 100 years, every time we have given the government more authority, have they ever given it back? No. So if they force you guys to break out into this conflict and they shut it all down, do you seriously believe they're ever going to give it back? Don Cressiter said, oh, by the way, my boy Fernando Oliver is in the room. How you doing, brother? Don Cressinger, to stop the hate, one must free themselves from the leash. Knowledge is power. It is, and unfortunately, people want it easy. That's why they're manipulated. They don't want to have to put the effort in. They really don't want to have to put the effort in. And so as long as they're making it, as long as it's easy, then they keep going that way, because being educated and actually waking up to what's really happening. Here's an idea. I have a friend of mine. I'm not going to name his name, but I will tell you right now, I have a friend of mine. He is black. He ended up going to prison. He's out and he owns his own damn business. Not because somebody gave him a handout, because he busted his ass, because he knew that was the only way it was going to happen. And guess what? He is successful, and he did it without you. But according to you, according to the wokeness, that should never happen. That's not supposed to happen. But it did. I could tell you that story about 15 to 20 of my friends that I know that made, some of them may have gone to prison or didn't, but they decided nobody else was going to get them up but themselves. And they got up and they became successful because they realized this whole bullcrap that's going on is not going to help them succeed. It's not going to pull them back up. In order to pull themselves up, the statement in itself was already answered. Pull themselves back up. We need to focus on our communities. We need to focus on our surroundings. And when we can fix our surroundings and fix our community, because we're going to have to be the ones to do it. For too long, people have sat there and looked to the government. You guys seem to forget Ronald Reagan's the one who said it. The worst thing you could ever hear is, hi, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. They're not fixing the problem. They're not going to fix the problem, because what is happening is exactly what they wanted. Why do you think they're not fixing it? Why do you think there's not been any real move to do anything? It's because this is what they want. Wake up. Stop being this woke thing. It's not real. Zion Brand, I could never be happy or feel safe knowing someone could and would just take it when they want. She's right. People, wake the hell up. You keep telling yourself you're woke. You're not woke. You're still asleep. You really are. Stop believing those talking heads that are out there on major media. Stop believing the politicians tell you they're going to fix it all. They're not. The only people that can fix us is us. We're the only ones that can stop this from happening. The time is now to do something because the time is running out. It's real simple. It's not difficult. But you have to be willing to accept that everything that you've been told is a lie. Every bit of it. It's bullshit. And for those of you who are scared to death to have the woke mob come down on you, just do what I do. Give them the finger. Serious. I came to a realization the other day. It took a while. I got canceled out from something that I enjoyed most of my life. But it doesn't bother me anymore. It doesn't bother me anymore. It used to. Doesn't anymore. For those of you who know me personally, know exactly what I'm talking about. And you know what? The moment that finally happened, the moment I came into my head and realized that doesn't bother me any longer, that, life will go on, I got a lot happier. So next time somebody comes after you and calls you a racist or anything else like that, just look out and say, take your fake hate somewhere else. You don't bother me no more. Maybe if you woke up, you'd realize it. You should start telling people that. Take your fake hate somewhere else and go wake up. Just look at the amount of confusion that's going to be on their face when you tell them that. Of course, they're probably going to come back with some stupid insulting phrase that means nothing. Hell, I keep getting called a boomer, and I wasn't born in that generation. Zion Bryn told me something the other night. He's like, respond back as okay, ageist, or something like that. Corolla said the only real privilege in this world is learning no one is going to do it for you, and realizing you control your future. You do. That's the cool part about this. That's the fun thing, is once you wake up from all this shit, you realize you're the one in control of your own destiny. You're the one that lays the path before yourself. That's the fun part about it. You're the one in control of your own destiny. I'm going to close this off tonight. I get off my damn soapbox now for my friends on Facebook in the chat room. And for those of you that were on Twitch or YouTube out there, I love you guys to death. I hope you guys have a great night. For those of you on the Upper East Coast, be safe tonight. It's going to be a bitch. You got a blizzard coming through. They said this one's pretty bad. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And when I say that because I don't dwell on the negative anymore. I'm just out here trying to help you guys out. But I live my life, and I enjoy every second of it. For those of you who weren't aware of any of the updates, real quick on this one, my knee is now out of the brace completely, and my doctor says I'm no longer allowed to wear braces. I still have my crutches, and I'll probably have those for a couple more weeks, according to my physical therapist. And then I'll be without crutches. It took many years to get this knee rebuilt. They finally did it. I'm an 83 Buick now. I got used parts in me, but still. It's getting better. It really is. I'm getting to walk more and more without crutches now, and life is really getting a lot better. Folks, I hope your life is getting better too. Be safe out there and be excellent to each other. Really. Don't give in to the fake hate. And don't let the woke get you, because they're still asleep. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which doesn't leave you much room for error. But for all of us here at the world famous Rich Wilson Show, I am Rich Wilson. You are not. That's a good thing. And we're going to take off. So have yourselves a good one. And prediction for this weekend, because I believe you have the Chiefs and the Bengals. I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs on this one. As much as I'd like to see the Bengals finally go back to the Super Bowl again, I got the Chiefs on that one. The Niners, I'd have to say I think this might be the Niners' year. I really think we're going to see the Niners Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Because the Niners beat the knocked out, and then I forgot who the other team is. I'm really starting to think it's going to be a Niners Chiefs Super Bowl. I think we're talking about a battle west of the Mississippi. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to see the Bengals. I hate the Niners, but I'm really starting to see that. I'm really starting to see Niners Chiefs. Don said it'd be a repeat of '88. Who knows? Don't get me wrong. I'm pulling for the Bengals in my head, or in my heart, but my mind is telling me Patrick Mahomes, man. That guy's insane. Anyway, folks, you guys have yourselves a good night. Just remember, I love you all. Have a good night. We'll see you.